It's Ladies' Day at SW19 today, and with me to preview both semi-finals is a man who was 2 out of 3 on Monday. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Nigel Seeley, as Meatloaf would say.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was, to be honest with you, Sully, though, I mean, my main tip was the Berrettini one against Federer, which was very, very disappointing. And I had I was quite lucky with your timetable because you wanted to, we spoke about the latter games rather than early ones. I would have put up Martic to beat Svetlina as well. So when I've done my leans, I was very fortunate, but it's still been a very, very poor road for betting emporium punters. And I've been very lucky with you with the timings of the games you wanted to talk about. That we've been all right, but if you asked me which ones I could choose and which ones I would have given you the best bets, it would have been a very, very different story. But yeah, we've done okay. 2 solid tips with Nadal, and we had the total games in the. What was the other game we had? I can't remember what it was on the Monday. We had was it?
Conte game, wasn't it?
Oh, the Conte Gavita game over the games as well. So yeah, we did okay, but it's still been a very, very poor tournament for me. One of my worst ever. So the outright hasn't been good either. So. The only way is up. You referred to songs for Meatloaf. Mike referred to you as Yaz and the plastic population. The only way is up. So there we go.
All right. Well, we do appreciate the honesty, Nigel. It's a lot to be said for that. Let's look at today's games. Let's start with the later game. Serena Williams and Barbara Strykova. Current betting here: Serena 1.27, 4.55 Strykova. Strykova's getting 4.5 games starting to get back that 2.09 at Matchbook, and 20.5 is the total industry best price on Strykova, which obviously indicates that Matchbook users are all over Serena Williams today. Nigel, are you in a similar boat?
Yeah, I don't see any way that Strykova could pull off another shock in such quick succession. She's always been a player that's been around for long years. She's always been the one who's got potential grass. She's a very big server. But she's just never really kicked on to the sort of the top 10 or top 15 that she should have done. She's probably peaked around the top 20s, around that sort of mark a few years ago. But she was somebody who everyone looked at as a potential someone who could do well at Wimbledon, but it hasn't really happened to her apart from this week. She was steadily going through the draw, didn't really set the world alight, but Conte really handed her the game. I know everyone was going on about how well she played against Gavita, which she did, and she showed tremendous ability there. She served brilliantly at crucial points, like we said to you in that preview of that game. When she serves well, she's hard to beat, but when she doesn't, she's appalling. And I think she had 37 unforced errors in the following round against Strykova, which is not good enough in a Grand Slam quarterfinal. You just can't do that. She didn't play well in the semi-final of the French Open as well. When she had it, she could have beaten Vondrasova. And I think there is a temperament. I mean, there's a lot of questions about a press conference where she was asked whether she could kick on. And I think it was a very fair point to ask. It probably didn't do it in the way that he should have done it, the reporter. But it is a fair question. And as punters, is Conte going to be the Tim Henman of the ladies' tennis in years to come? And I think she probably is. I think she's got the game to really go on and win a Grand Slam. But Strykova just did what she had to do. Didn't play well. She'll have to raise her game 100%, probably 200% to challenge Serena Williams. They played 3 times before. Serena Williams has won them all in straight sets, all relatively easy as well. The games have all been very, very low scoring. There's been a couple of 6-love sets thrown into that. And Serena Williams, believe it or not, is looking good. I think the mixed doubles with Andy Murray's actually helped. It's given her more, because she had no preparation. She hasn't played on grass at all. And playing in the mixed doubles has actually helped her, even though they've gone out to the #1 seeds. I think that's helped her this week. I still think she's going to be tested in the final, because Serena Williams does get to finals in recent years and she doesn't really produce the goods as what she's done. But in this game, I can't see a shock again. I think, and it's a great time to play an opponent who's had such a big win like Conte, like we said in previous previews. And I think this will be relatively straightforward. I mean, I'll probably back Serena Williams on the handicap as a lean and maybe even 2-0.
Yeah, but you could also play that angle, play the under, Nigel. But that total looks kind of low enough as 20.5. So you're probably looking at a 6-4, 6-4. Would that be the general approach, or are you quite happy to just lay the games -4.5?
I think the 4.5. I think it's one of them games that we sort of spoken about quite a lot in the couple of previews I've done with you, where I think the first set could probably be quite tight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Strykova. Their game plan will be to quite keep your serve, don't do nothing too flash. And in the second set, if she goes behind, she's got to go for shots. I don't think she's got the game to hurt Serena. I think Serena will power through. So maybe the second set, look at the games under in the second set. That line will probably be around about 10 or 9.5, something like that. She could blitz her away in the second set. The first set could be quite tight. But I think even at the short odds, if I was going to suggest, I'm not having an official play on this game. It's not really something that I would do. But if I was looking at it for Matchbook and looking at the game at the angle here, I'd probably just back 2-0. I know it's probably about 166, 160 something.
7, yeah.
But a 1-7 is not a bad price really with 2-0. You know, like I say, 3 times they played, 3 times they've been 2-0. I can see this being 6-love 6-3, which means 7-6 6-3, which means that the handicap might come in at 4. The 4.5 is quite dangerous. So perhaps probably just a small bet on the 2-love. I know it's odds on, but really I can't see any way that Serena can get hurt in this game. And I think the timing of it, with Swiatek coming on the back of such a big win, one of the biggest wins of her career, only falls into the hands of Serena Williams even further. So, and with the extra experience she's got, you know, at Wimbledon, you know, when against a girl who's playing their first Grand Slam, who's not young, you know, she's been around a long time now. And this is not like a 17-year-old who has no fear. Swiatek will know exactly where she is, and an opponent she's never had any problems before with. And I think that Serena wins quite relatively easy.
I suppose I'm looking kind of at the outright book here as well at the moment, Nigel. And I mean, let's be honest, if you're trading the outright market in the women's in this tournament, you're having a lot of fun. You hopefully have a bit of a green book there right now. But Serena 2.04, Simona Halep at 3.0. She's 1.28 here. I mean, we're playing a bit ahead of ourselves here. But what kind of price do you think she will be in the final if it's either Halep or Svitolina? She's going to be a good favourite, presumably.
Oh, yeah, I think she'll probably be about a 4 to 9 chance against Halep, or probably even, and a bit considerably shorter against Svitolina, probably sort of 3 or 4 on, something like that. So yeah, I mean. But I just don't. If you look at Serena Williams in recent years, she's got to finals and in the Grand Slams, and she hasn't played well. And you know, I've publicly stated that I don't think she'll ever win a Grand Slam again. So how can I back her at 3.08 to win one? So I still think there's a lot of tennis to be played there, and I think the final won't be as straightforward as we might expect. So. I'm hoping that she doesn't win, because I will have more people passing comment on me, not very nice comments on social media again, like they are at the moment. So I'm hoping that she doesn't win it. But I think that Striskova, she couldn't have been handed an easier semi-final, really, with the situation she's in and her form against the opponent. So let's just look ahead for today now. I mean, if you think that she's going to win, you could back her and trade out, but really that's not my style. I'm in it to win it, and I think that the bet here will probably be 2-0 for me.
I honestly thought this was kind of half finished after the US Open with Osaka last year, that whole debacle. Let's move on to the other ladies semi-final today. Alina Svitolina against Simona Halep. Current betting Svitolina 3.12. That's an industry best price of Matchbook as well. Or the odds check grid 1.46 is Simona Halep. 4 is the handicap here, obviously, with Svitolina getting the start and currently backed that at 1.9. And the total is slightly more at 21.5. To be honest, Nigel, I opposed Halep in the last round with Zhang. I thought I was cruising in the first set. I mean, she was down 4-1. I think she saved about 4 break points there. It's probably maybe time to start believing in Halep a bit, because I know both of us have kind of been on the fence with her before.
I think it's time to start believing in both of them. I mean, Svitolina's been a player that I've opposed in all 3 rounds. In the first 3 rounds of it, I didn't get involved in the quarterfinal, but in the first 3 rounds, I've opposed her in every single game she had. She played Gavrilova in the first round. We backed her plus 4.5, and 7-5 the first set. Gavrilova had so many break points, didn't take them.
Yeah, and but like, how easy would it be? Like, she retired due to injury. I mean, like, Svitolina was
that was the next round. She played Gaspar in the next round. She lost the first set, and she was losing in the second set. Then she retired. Third round, she played Martic. Martic was 1.4 in running that game, and she managed to come through. And these 2 girls are 2 girls that nobody really would have ever expected them to be in the semi-finals of Wimbledon, because it's not their surface. Svitolina's record at Wimbledon is appalling. I think she's been knocked out in the first round of 4 previous Wimbledons. Halep has never really done anything here. She's a couple of quarterfinals. I think she may have got to a semi-final, but they're not. This is not what they're expected to do. But they both must believe that they can beat it, because Serena Williams isn't the Serena Williams of the past. So they're both going to go into this game with huge confidence of getting to a Wimbledon Wimbledon final. I mean, I was speaking to a woman tennis judge who followed the tennis in the first week, and she said to me, if Svitolina gets to the second round, she could go all the way, because she felt that she would get used to the surface. She said had the talent, and that she would get better and better as the tournament progressed. She pretty much nailed it on the head. I don't think she played anywhere near her best tennis in the first 3 rounds, but she played very well in the quarter-final win. And I'm slightly... I thought that it would be a little bit closer in the betting, actually, because, I mean, Halep is the name player, and I thought that it might be a little bit closer. But saying that, Svitolina just isn't a grass court natural. I mean, if you'd watched her first round game, the first set that I watched, and especially in the second game, you would never have thought that she could capably of get this far. So it's a difficult one for outright punters, but I expect this to be quite close. I think the gap between the two of them isn't as big as the matchbook punters have made it to be. I mean, I'm surprised that they're the biggest price they are, but, you know, off my ratings, you'd never be 2-1 and 2 for this game. No way. It'd be a lot closer, especially if the ratings from the start of the tournament. And as they've gone on and on in the tournament, Svitolina's ratings got higher and higher, because she's getting better as the tournament goes on. So that brings in a lot of angles. Like we say, once you've got the outright prices wrong, you could do anything else. Now, both of these players are very flaky. You know, as you said there, the first set, Halep recovered from 4-1. That's what they do. They go behind it and they come back, and they need to have a bit of diversity and put their back against the wall for them to come back and to play better tennis. And I think this could be a really long game. I mean, you look at it head-to-head, it's 4 wins apiece. It's very, very evenly matched. There's not much between them in the rankings. There's not much between them in the seedings. And both of them would say that grass was their least comfortable surface. So I think we may see a long game here. I think it's going to go into the third set. And I think if the angle for me would be the over 21.5 games, because I think it will come down to who has the biggest mental strength and who basically makes the least errors. Because I don't think there's really much between the two of them on grass. Halep probably hits the ball a little bit harder. She might be able to power away for his Svitolina, but they're both going to match each other up, because they're both going to play at the baseline, and it will come a question of who can now hit which opponent. So I'm going to go for the games in this one. I think the over the games at 21.5 would be my way up of looking at things. What price have you on that one?
Currently 1.97 Nigel at matchbook 21.5. So I'm looking at an angle.
That's a big price. I mean, I'm happy. I'd be very happy to take that. I think that could be the really angle. I think we expect. It's arguably. I mean, Halep has won French Opens, but it's definitely for Svitolina. This is the biggest game of her career, and Halep would love to win or get to a final of another major outside the clay. It'd be unbelievable. You know, for her to do that, would be great. But we saw what happened to Halep in the semi-finals of the French. She was blown away in a shock defeat. She has history of losing shocks, and she has history of long topsy-turvy matches. And I think this could be a trader's paradise today. I really do. I think if you put them both in to lay at short prices, you'll probably get matched. And I think we could be in for a long game. So over the games is my angle here. Sounds
good. I think I'm probably asking an obvious question, but that seems to be the best bet of the day here, because I'm not getting a sense that you have a massive lean on the screen again.
Yeah, I think that's my only bet I'll be having. And you know, if that 1.7, I'm tempted. I was looking yesterday, the best I could see across the board for 2-0 to Williams was 166. Now Matchbook have dangled a carrot of 1.7. If that carrot gets up to 1.72, I'll have to take a little bit of it.
I'll go one better, Nigel, because it's actually 1.75 at the moment. It's actually drifted out since we've been talking the last week.
That shows you how bad a form I'm in. That I'm talking. I used to have the opposite effect, but now it could be 1.8 by the time we finish, Sully. So keep going. Keep chatting.
No value for us. Keep talking about
it. Keep talking. But it could be a flip-flop in half hour.
Yes, Nigel Seeley. See you back tomorrow, because we're going to be previewing Nadal and Federer. That's going to be an absolute cracker. We'll chat to you then. If you haven't got a matchbook account, you want to get involved in this, check out offer.matchbook.com for a £10 risk-free bet. Best of luck with your bets today, and we will talk to you tomorrow.